Trump, your boy Donald Treezeezy, he signed an executive order this week giving a mandatory year in jail for anyone who burns the American flag. Anyone who burns the American flag, mandatory year. Now, is that legal? Can he do it? Remains to be seen. It's a federal executive order, so he can kind of get away with it in DC, in federal areas, right? But so, and not just DC, any place that's deemed a federal area, he has control, executive control over that. So he can kind of deem it like that. However, it goes over his head because just so you know, it wasn't burning the flag was a state. It was a state issue before 1989. And then I forgot the case, Texas versus somebody. But in 1989, they ruled that you can burn the flag. You can burn it. It's your property. You can burn your property. Right. So the MAGA people and all the Republicans, they hate this. Now, they're supposed to be such staunch constitutional people. But then when it comes to your First Amendment right to burn the flag, because if you don't agree with the government and how the government is going, they're oppressing you. And this is a symbol of the government. And you want to express your feelings, your ideals, your sentiment towards that government by burning the flag, which you should have the right to do. He's saying, no, you can't do that. You got to fall in line with American exceptionalism. We're America. We're the best. We're the greatest. You don't get with this American exceptionalism, motherfucker. So if you ain't down, you're going to jail. Now, again, everyone has freedom of speech. You can do this. Now, people said, just on the rip, they were like, I respect the American flag, but fuck this. I'm going to start burning that shit anyway. Fuck you, bitch. That's basically, they was like, nigga, you going to tell me what the fuck I can't do with the First Amendment? All right, then, bitch. Just like a proud veteran did, he went into, I think it was a park in D.C., and he set that bitch on fire. But he was very clear in what he was saying. He's like, I'm a 20-year veteran and a war veteran. Like, he's been to war and all that type of stuff. So he done fought and saw people die and everything over the flag. And he's like, yo, but I fought for the right to have people so people could burn the flag if they wanted to. Even though I don't agree with it, this is what he said. Even though I don't agree with burning the flag, I'm going to burn the flag because I fought for the right to burn it. Is this legal? Is this lawful? Like I said, it's the Supreme Court rules. So ultimately, it shouldn't be. So what Trump tries to do, he tries to test the waters with laws. Just because it may say that doesn't mean it's actually ruled. He likes to get it all the way to the Supreme Court, and then that's when the law has been tested. Otherwise, the law is not solidified unless it's been tested in the court, is what he feels. And that's sort of true, because that's what the Supreme Court is there for. You got a lot of Republicans saying that having the right to burn the flag is not in the Constitution. Like, it's not in there. These are all these Republicans, these FAGA cats, and they're like, I agree. You shouldn't be able to burn the flag. If you don't like America, get the fuck out of America. Get the fuck out of here, motherfucker. So, okay, even though if I disagree with how America came about, I can't disagree with how America came about, the genocide that you committed on the Aboriginal Americans here to gain the land. But look what you got. Yeah, we killed all those motherfuckers, but look what you got, man. What would this place be if we didn't slaughter all those motherfuckers? You'd be fishing with a goddamn pole on the back of a horse. So these motherfuckers think that everything that they gave you makes up for all the atrocities they committed in the past. And if you disagree with that, you still don't have the right to express that by burning the flag. Now, when people sit up here and say, like, because they had this debate on Tim Pool's show the other day, this one dude, what is his name? Jack Sapovic, whatever his name is, some dumbass. And he was sitting up there and nobody else knew enough about the Constitution to challenge him. I think Jack Posobiec, I think is his name. And he was sitting up there, it's not in the Constitution. The right to burn the flag is not in the Constitution. Well, he says it's not. It says it has freedom of speech. And he said, well, burning the flag, that free speech doesn't cover burning the flag. It doesn't say that, and you can do that. So he says you can read it. Look in there. Look what it says. So no one on the show knew enough to say, well, why do we have a judicial branch of government? Is it to read the laws that were written, or is it to interpret the law? Because dumbasses like you are just reading the law. That's why we don't have dumbasses like you on the court. That's why we have lawyers who are supposed to be sages of law, at the very least, adepts of law, who are able to dissect really what this means, because legalese and regular words are not the same thing. Colloquial words are not the same thing. So when you get a law in front of a judge or just a lawyer, they're going to see something completely different. So when you say speech, what is speech used for? Speech is used to express an idea. Speech is not used to utter sounds. Anyone can do that. A baby does that coming out of the womb. They don't need your permission. They don't need freedom of speech to utter sound. You utter sounds to get an idea or point across. That is the purpose of speech, to communicate an idea. That is what it's for. So speech technically is not just refined to words. It's not. What if I'm what if I'm mute? What if I was born mute? Does that mean I don't got free speech? I can't write what I want to say. I'm mute and I got them Tyrannosaurus Rex arms and shit. I can't write. So they don't got freedom of speech. And because you can't speak and can't write, doesn't mean you don't have speech. But I'm just getting my point across. What if you born, you can't see, you can't speak, and you got Tyrannosaurus Rex arms? Do that mean you don't have freedom of speech? You can't express your idea, how you think? Because no, motherfucker, you can do that. Yes, that's what speech means. It's a form of expression, meaning it's your way, it's your way to express your thoughts and ideas to the world. And you have the freedom of that. And these motherfuckers, it doesn't say you can burn the flag. Well, speech is my way of conveying to the world my disagreement with the government. I don't have to fall in line and just kiss the government's ass if they just fucking up and doing messed up shit all over the world. No, I can convey my disagreement by doing this. I can do other things too, but I just choose to do this. So how he got it across was your freedom of speech. There's no laws against freedom of speech unless you incite a riot or violence. Right, unless you threaten somebody. It's called fighting words. Chaplinsky versus New Hampshire. That's the Supreme Court case that said fighting words. You got freedom of speech unless it's with fighting words. So meaning don't go around threatening people. When y'all be talking about, nigga, I'll beat your ass. You know you can go to jail for that. People don't lock you up. But if you tell somebody I'll beat your ass, you go to jail for that. That's fighting words. Literally. That's literally the case of fighting words. So again, fighting words or incite, your words incite a riot to violence or whatever. So he came out and he was like, now, let me tell you right now, Trump don't give a shit about the flag. Trump doesn't give a goddamn about the burning of the flag. This is just another distraction he can tie you up with so that you don't start talking about them Epstein files. I mean, everybody ever see Airwolf? It's an old show. Dun, 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 dun. So Airwolf was my shit back in the day. Now, Airwolf was a helicopter, was like a military super helicopter that had missiles and all kind of shit. And then it had like a turbo boost, it can go super fast, right? So then when people would try to shoot it down, and this is modern day planes too, they have starburst that they boost out, that they shoot out the back. So because the other plane that's locked on is shooting heat-seeking missiles, so they let loose starburst. These are like little heat balls that go everywhere, so that the missile can go towards the starburst. That's what Trump did. After the Epstein files came on, everybody was locked in. And they was locked and loaded on that nigga. They were like, you ever see that? He's got a lock. Doop, 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 doop. And this motherfucker started, he released all the starburst in his plane. That motherfucker was like, Russia Gate, police violence in the cities, Ukraine, Mexico, illegal immigrants. Don't look over here. I mean, anything he could do to get your distraction away. I mean, starburst after starburst.